Hey, hey, hey. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Let's see how this goes. I don't know what that was. It's just part.
It's
Hey,
I
hello,
gotta
hello,
use
hello. Hey, what's up, man? George is the best.
enjoying a
What's
vacation.
going on,
That's
man?
about it.
Yeah?
I actually had I had a good omen, I'd say, considering that I had an eagle as I was sitting in my car, or actually it was a
Yeah.
hawk. A hawk actually flew down to my driver's door side where I was sitting. I was like, dang,
Yeah?
that's a whole freaking hawk. But sure, yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's Georgia living. I guess next is
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
Hey, that's something you don't, yeah, you don't want to encounter.
Yeah, let's shoot. I'm looking at. I got some fruit trees. I'm growing.
Yeah?
I'm gonna be blessing the neighborhood with that. And then I got some watermelon that I'm looking to start putting out. So I'm just getting home right now. I was just sitting in my driveway. But
Awesome.
yeah, it's been a while since I've been on the round table. But yeah, this is where the cool people are.
This is a gift, Crystal. Crystal Graham. Hey, hey. Welcome, welcome,
Hey,
welcome.
how are you?
Good, good. Hey, Crystal. How are you?
What's up? How are you?
Good, miss. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. This is what you guys are going to see though, because I feel awful.
It's all right. It's all right. You guys don't know my good friend Crystal Graham. You just got back from Mexico, right?
I did. I'm now 3 and 4 weeks out from getting my SOT for Borrelia recurrentis and for Lyme disease. That's what I'm doing.
Very proud of you. Doing well. I know you've been through a lot, and it's good to see you. You know, kind of moving around, and it was a good treatment. It was you kept us along with what you were doing. I know you had your bad days and your good days, but
Right.
it's
I think that's still where I'm at, but I love seeing you guys and I love being able to talk about all the cool stuff. So
appreciate that. Appreciate that.
So
Well,
how's
welcome.
everybody been?
I've been doing good. Been doing good. Been doing a lot of just fixing up things and doing stuff with the moringa. Got my website up and everything, and just moving on. And we've been in class daily. This is what we do in our group, in our collective. Uh, Other farmers like us, and we're just promoting health, or you're just promoting to help your community, or just in general. That's why we do it. And I do this, of course, to bring other like-minded people to what we do. We have George's best over here. He's got his whole garden inside his house, so
That's cool.
he's
It's gonna
growing
be coming
indoors.
out here though.
So, but it's good to be on here. I got a couple other people waiting for people to just come in here, see who comes. But if you've never been to my roundtable here on Wednesdays, we're just a group of herbalists and we get together, we talk, we discuss certain things. It could be a topic or just whatever the audience here, they'll ask questions. And we try to do the best we can because we're not giving any advice or we're not doctors or anything, but we're just telling you what may help, and we'll do our best at that. And if you guys have questions, just throughout the comments. You guys are more than welcome to ask anybody. What is your name? My name's EJ, but what do you go by on here other than
Juliana.
Juliana? So
Yeah.
Juliana, she's great. Tell us what you do, actually, because it's the first time here on our panel, and some of you don't, if you haven't met Julia, she's a great person. She's like-minded like us and want to help people. That's what she does.
Mm-hmm.
She does a lot. So go ahead and tell us something about yourself and what you do.
I'm Juliana. We just moved to Kentucky because we have some amazing plans here. In my 30s, I got really sick, and a couple of trips to the MDs told me that wasn't going to be the path for me. And I had 2 boys who were dealing with chronic illness that we weren't getting any answers on. So, started with seeing an acupuncturist who introduced me to the idea that food might be an issue, which sent me down a rabbit hole. We had already gotten rid of non-toxic cleaners before that, but so I then started some natural training, just originally to help us be healthier as a family. Ended up getting my degree as a naturopath, and in the course of my working with people, which wasn't the original plan, but I just couldn't help myself. I just absolutely love sharing this information because there are too many people out there with mystery illnesses that really need support. I then branched out into working with people with the emotional roots of physical illness. So subconscious emotional work, reprogramming. I also have some Reiki practitioner experience, and so I do some energy work as well. And lots of life coaching, so we can get those beliefs out that don't serve us and we can walk the path that we're really designed to walk and create a life that we direct for ourselves. Very independent minded, always have been, and just getting more so as I get older. Our intention here in Kentucky is to build a multi-site glamping place with a wellness retreat center associated with it, and we'll be able to do all kinds of amazing work there. So
That's awesome.
yeah, thanks.
I'm going to invite people here. It's not working very well. Well, good. Thank you. That's awesome. Glad to have you here. Still waiting for people to come in. I do this every other Wednesday. Like I said, we just have a group of us that just get together and we talk about a subject or whatever comes up. We get time to heal.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, go ahead.
I see a comment or a question from Ray Ray. What is this? He's new here.
Oh, what is this? Ray Ray. Hey, welcome in, Ray Ray. New here, but I'm trying to. So I have a round table here, and I invite several herbalists. We kind of just get together, and we're all just basically here to talk about. And it could be anywhere from electroculture. It could be making tinctures, salves. It could be about healing energy, growing stuff. Everyone's story here, even Crystal, has started this path of healthier living because it happened to us in our lives. and we were looking
Yeah.
for an answer that wasn't being answered. So we took it upon ourselves to either look for it or study or, search for the knowledge that we needed to heal ourselves. Because, like I said, we weren't happy with the answers or what was being done. A lot of these other people, I guess, just give you medications and try to cover it up and just say, take more of these. And, those kept piling up, but there was no results. So, and it all has to change. There's a lot of stuff that not only mentally, physically, and emotionally, it's a journey. Just changing little things at a time. It took you a long way to get where you are, or whatever health you're in, and it's going to take you a while, and it's a journey to do. But along the path, we have a lot of great people here that have knowledge, or I run into them, and with those people, I try to do my best to get that knowledge out and introduce people like yourself, Ray, or Crystal, or whoever, and gather these people so you can have that knowledge too. We don't try to gatekeep or anything like that. We try to help people in the best way we can. Yeah, we all have, maybe we have products or whatever that we try to, for our own living. I'm a farmer, so this is my living, whatever, but a lot of us don't, we have regular 9-to-5 jobs and stuff like that, but we're here to assist or help or tell you other ways, or inform you of other ways that maybe you can help yourself in your journey.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I had to really think outside the box when it came to non-GMO, using non-GMO seeds, heirloom seeds, and stuff like that, because through, the different research and whatnot, you find out how of a detriment these different products are that they've actually put in our food, and the only way to actually have really good longevity like our grandparents did. I have one of my great-grandparents. She lived to 103, and she had that old school raising. She was actually growing her own food and all that stuff, and still whooping butt. But yeah, I've done everything from hydroponics, aquaponics now, and I'm starting to get into doing some little small homestead farming in my local community. And it doesn't look like much right now, but I have to keep everything under wraps because of the way the city is. But, I'm preparing more for if the grid does go down or something like that, that we could still be, civil towards each other and actually help each other out, So that's just from what my stick is here in my local community and why I do it. But, it tickles me because I actually had a positive influence on my mom, who she's got grapevines and she's got blueberries and stuff like that growing on her front porch. And, it's just amazing how it just the positive energy and influence of growing your own food, just keeps on going if you're able to, just put your foot forward. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, everyone. I'd like to thank everyone for joining. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the gifts. Thanks for sharing the live out. That's how we reach other people. And, if we meet in here and there's no one here, I mean, we can't help people. Like I said, we can all be doing different things, but that's why we come here. And I know a lot of you like this Wednesday night thing, and it's hard to meet up all the time. I know a lot of like Time to Heal and Stacy and everyone. They have their own lives that they do and stuff like that. They're their own deal and stuff, and sometimes life just gets busy. That's why I try to come on here. I know a lot of you haven't seen me lately. I've just been doing a lot of stuff. So trying to do a lot of good things, trying to make a lot of different connections. I've been doing, and I think I talked to some of you. If you guys don't know, if you have your own products or your own vegetables, or you're doing any type of, uh, maybe you have herbs or crochet, or maybe make your own candles. There's apps out there in your local community that help your local community to find you. There's the Farmish app, uh, and there's Farm Fresh 24/7, and then there's the eggsnearby.com. So any of these, you can put your stuff up there, and that lets your local community know that you have stuff. You can buy, sell, or trade on any of these apps. I think on Farmish, if you use my code from them 10, you can get I think it's $10 off if you wanted a paid subscription or like a primary space on there. But a lot of these, they have a free site for you to, go in there and advertise your stuff. I think Eggs Nearby, I have a code. It's from them farms, free, and you get a free premium site, and you can post your YouTube channel story on whatever you're selling too, so people can know about you. A lot of these sites have different things, but they're all for you guys to let other people know. Everyone's saying, well, I wouldn't, I'd go and buy, milk or honey or beef, but I don't know where it's at. That's why I go to Walmart, or I don't know where people are selling candles or have fertilizer or whatever it is. I don't know but these are apps that you can get on. And if you guys download them or put them on yourself, make sure you're telling other people, like in your area. I know you drive down, where a local egg place is, or a local farmer, or local milk someone, or whatever. Especially if you live out in the country, so you can go by and say, hey, you know what? We're just stopping by. I was wondering if you heard about this app, and that's how you. Then say, hey, either they want it or it's great, but they want it, in their community, or more local people in their area will know. It's a great way to, make conversation, or just to help a lot of these farmers who, would rather sell to you than these big corporation stores. So if you guys don't know about those apps, they're out there. DM me for any of these codes or whatever if you want. It helps you out, helps me out, but it helps your community most of all, and you're helping, people be healthier and eat healthier. You got all these wraps and stuff that they're putting on foods, and wax and other dyes and stuff like that. We don't even know what's going on with these foods nowadays, but at least in your local area, you'll have know people that do. So
Yeah.
hope that helps.
Yeah, one of the things that has been up in conversation a lot is that Smithfield has been bought by a Chinese company, and we don't know anything about what they'll be doing from now on. We can pretty much write that. I didn't buy any of that anyway, but I know a lot of people do. And some of my friends have been complaining because and I found this to be true, I bought a steak at Trader Joe's. That didn't taste like beef at all. I've bought, we've been looking at chicken coming out of Costco that's supposed to be organic, but it crumbles into strings. So it's going to be important that we get to know our farmers. And even if you live in a more urban area, make that connection somehow outside of your urban area, find friends, buy in bulk, whatever you got to do, support the farmers. Because you definitely want to keep access to that. And they lose control over us when our dollars are spent with our friends.
Yeah, we control, the money in our community. We control, if everyone just stopped at one store and support our local, you control. You vote for who you want in business. Basically, that's what they did. You know, a few years back here, they controlled who they wanted to stay in business.
Hmm.
You know, and a lot of these mom and pop stores try to stay in business, and they made them close down, but they kept these big corporation stores open.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I
even
think we're I
doing
think we're in a position, we have a long way to go, but I think we're in a better position now than we were 4 years ago, with more people being aware, more people seeing, wanting to make other decisions, which is a good thing. And of course, even if you walk into a farmer's market, ask them how they grow their vegetables.
right.
Yeah, because that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't spray something or whatever, but even that is better than what you're going to get from a grocery store, because at the very least it's likely picked ripe. So, and the soil may not be, completely devoid. So you got to make the best decision you can. We lived in North Fort Myers for a little over a year. And though beef is huge in Florida, I couldn't find a farmer to call me back so I could buy some beef. So, yeah.
Yeah, yep. Always like George said, you got to ask questions.
Hmm.
Gotta, just keep people more aware, and that's
Yeah.
perfect. Why I do this, and many people.
Come here.
Yeah, I had an event one time where I had to get at least about close to 20 pounds of ground beef because I was making hamburgers, and I found a local processing plant that was actually they do their own cattle and process and everything right there, and that was the best thing that I've ever ran into here in North Georgia.
That's great.
But yeah, it's few and far between, but man, when you find them, they're like little gems.
One thing I didn't realize was, as readily available as it is, we're starting a mushroom farm here. We're going to grow edible mushrooms to start with. And most of the people that I'll buy material from provide at-home mushroom kits. And you get a box in the mail, you open the box up, you cut a slit in the paper bag or plastic bag, you spray it down a couple of times a day, and you can grow your own mushrooms in your house, and you'll get probably 4 or 5 pounds of mushrooms out of that. And so you can have access to something that's going to be more nutrient dense, and then if you do happen to be meat free, then you have a good protein source. So it's a good option.
Yeah, very good option. Let's see who else I can get in here. Crystal, what you got for us?
Did I unmute it? There we go. Nothing. I'm just listening. Like, I wish I was in some of y'all states, because I'm going to tell you right now, that doesn't happen where I'm at. Like, you don't, there are very few people that are awake. That's why I covered my journey going to Mexico and doing all of that, hoping that I could wake a few people up. And since being back, I've had more and more people. But one thing I want to caution y'all on too is your water source. Like, ask questions, absolutely, but going to farmers markets, sometimes you're just as good to go to a different store, because water source, especially in these drier states, are coming from places that you don't want it to. And there is no washing that off. There is no soak that in vinegar, because these things have been grown in that water source. So it's going directly to the plant. We sat with my naturopath, and there were at one time, there were 6 of us in there. It was a round table. We were all just in recliners getting our treatment. But I sat with a cloud seeder. That's a very real thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was low key mad. I've talked about this a few times, because I don't know how this person was able to come in and, open a plastic bag and just stacks on stacks of cash, right? Because the way I went was expensive, but so well worth it to me, when you equal it out to what I would have been paying for something else. Anyway, So he pulls out stacks, right? And he's there and he's taking home all the good stuff. Because over in Mexico, you can get all the good stuff. Because over there, people, if you're giving your animals certain things, you better be giving yourself certain things. Because no matter what, we all have them, okay? It's time to wake up to that. Here in my town, that's not a thing. People are like, you're crazy. It is what it is. We all have them. The bad usually overrun the good. And working on the bad, you got to go at a different pace, right? So he comes over there and he's pulling out stacks of cash because he's taking it all home to make sure his family's taken care of. They homeschool, they grow their own produce, they do their own animals. They don't get nothing off of that farm that he's at. Well, I'm glad he could afford that for his family, knowing what he's putting into the clouds and covering the rest of these families with. But that was one main thing that we sat and talked about, because I was like, so basically you're saying that we need to ask these farmers, what are you doing to protect it against the stuff that's coming out of the sky? Because that's happening. What do you know? So you can drive yourself silly with some of the like rabbit hole stuff, but just be mindful. If you're going to a state that's in a drought, you don't need to go to a farmer's market. It's okay to go to one, but you better make sure you're doing what you got to do and taking precautions. And there's things out there that you can do. Colloidal silver, different other things that you can put in that'll help gather some of that stuff up. We were prepped for some things that are coming. All I can say is you just got to hold on to your spiritual beliefs, because I firmly believe that's what we're being with now. We're in a spiritual warfare, and you're about to see a lot more ugly than you are anything good. If we thought 2020 was anything, we are in for it. That's all. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to sit back and relax, because what else? There's nothing else you can do except keep spreading what you're supposed to be spreading, because we all know that we get shut down on a few of these things for talking truths because not a lot of people want to hear it. And that's a sad fact. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I have a preteen daughter and I have 2 daughter-in-laws. And what's all on my page today? The fact that we as women have seriously been handed toxic waste and more toxins since we were pre-pubescent age going into it all these years. And I gotta say, I knew all that. I did. And I'm an endometriosis, had to have a hysterectomy because my ovary ruptured, have cysts all the time kind of person. And I look at the damage that was caused. Whew, I said it earlier, we don't need 3-letter agencies anymore. We don't need all that. There's not a thing. And you need to wake up to that realization if you haven't already.
Yeah.
But yeah, from them farms, that's what's been going on. And recovery from SOT. So that's a big thing. People have asked how recovery's going. I'm trying to update, but I was told week 4, week 5, it's probably going to hit you. Your immune system starts to wake up, and I haven't had one since birth. So your girl's been over here in fight or flight since then. And it's a humbling experience. I will say that.
Bet. Hey, be neighborly. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks for the likes, guys. Appreciate sharing out the live. So I don't know where everyone's at. Like I said, not everyone can be here every Wednesday, and I appreciate the ones. I appreciate you guys coming in. Anyone have any questions? Anyone? Be neighborly. You're welcome to come up. And like I said, I my whole platform here. I started doing a thing where I introduced to different gardeners, herbalists, and stuff like that. And I started doing a Saturday morning live where I invited one herbalist to come on, or just one person to tell about their story, and you can talk to any of these herbalists. Even Crystal's been on my show, and it's all the same. It's everyone wanted results, or they wanted better results than they were getting. So they started their journey. They started making their own tinctures, started doing their own, went back to school to study, more herbs and plants and the natural stuff that, we have everywhere and how it can help us, and every one of them that's been on my Saturday morning live has talked about their journey and what they do and why they do it. And it's all the same.
Mm-hmm.
They decided, and I bring them on here so other people can know their journey and what they're doing and how they can help it. There's people out there, like Crystal. She shared her whole journey weeks ago. Going to Mexico, and we were there with her. To showing other people, hey, there's other choices that you can make. You don't have to believe.
I said some things. I said some things to get on some people's toes because it was a case of, I don't know what else it's going to take for people to wake up. I mean, I'm like, I will never regret waking up. I will never regret switching sides. Like I've talked about my medical past. I was seriously let down from the other side and just shoved Band-Aid after Band-Aid, or, oh, we don't know what we're going to say about it. Oh, well, you have this and you have this and you have this and you have this. And the fear started to kind of get there. And so I realized then, listen, you better pull them up because you got to fight. You don't have any other choice, right? I'm going to do this. That's what we're going to do. So I thank God now, looking back, that's what happened. Because I needed that kick in the rear end to say, wake up. And that was him every single time, like, do this, do this. I helped my mom. Like, I'm like you, Georgia's Best. You said talking about your mom. So I'm a part of my parents waking up, and I love it. And it's frustrating at the same time, but my mom was being drug around the medical carousel, right? You guys know what I mean by that? So she's on the medical carousel, and I go with her to her last carousel stop. We're at the neurologist. I'm like, after this, they're sending you to a shrink. I need you to hear these words. She's like, are you saying I'm crazy? Yes, I'm telling you, they're about to send you to one. Mm-hmm. She's like, no. We go in, y'all, I promise you. He said, well, you have white matter on your brain, but guess what? That don't matter. Straight said that, told her she probably needed to up her dosage of her fibro medicine. So I'm like, are you awake yet? So I get my Lyme test. I get it back. I knew before I even sent it off, I knew it was positive. I knew it. I got the results and I cried and I got mad and I went through all those fluctuations of emotions. And then I said, Mom, I'm going to need you to get tested. She was like, oh, you don't think I have it? And I said, no. I know you do. And you don't have Lyme per se. So I don't say I don't say Lymes. It's Lyme and it's co-infections. Point blank, period. That's how it is. So here goes my mom, and she gets tested, and she has babesia, which is malaria. So this woman is like, you're joking. And I said, no, that's why the migraines. That's why every time you stand up, you feel like you're going to fall down, like your legs give out. Listen. So she's like, okay. So I'm like, what's the next step? She's like, well, you both have recurrentis, which, by the way, comes from lice. So we go to Mexico. And there it all went. And I covered the journey, and we both got our SOTs for it. And everybody's asked what treatment we got. A lot of hydration. We're all severely dehydrated. Knowledge taught me that in one of his. I just saw him pop in. I started following Knowledge when I started going to these doctors and not getting anywhere. I'm like, I'm going to follow everyone I can. I came up with From Them Farms, Time to Heal, Knowledge, Roots of Healing. You guys reach out. Y'all add these people because we've been there. We know what we're talking about. Anyway, I know I was dehydrated. Every day I was getting 2 bags of hydration. 2 bags.
Yeah, we see that.
He was like, you're so depleted. He was like, your red blood cells are in there going, we don't know what to do. So he pulls blood from me. We look at it under the microscope. I see the things y'all want to talk about. I see them. I saw one from a droplet. I saw colonies around it. I'm like, what do we do, doc? He said, you give me 4 weeks. I said, okay, I'm here. 5 weeks later, because he decided that was not enough, we came home. We both got our SOTs, but we got hydration nonstop. We took some amazing, amazing things. Magic was one. It had all the good stuff in it. The magnesium, the DMSO, the iodine, the potassium, the vitamin D, the C, the everything. And I cannot tell y'all how amazing I felt after receiving Magic. I was like on cloud 9.
Yeah.
He was like, that's what happens when your magnesium finally gets up there. Now you're starting to feel this euphoric feeling because we're finally putting all the good stuff in. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna stay here.
Isn't that amazing? That's just so weird. That's just, they can do this at all health clinics here and stuff like that.
But it's sad because I had to cross across to go do that. I had to leave our country. By the way, I live in Texas. I had to leave our country to go get all this done.
Yeah,
that's sad.
Yeah, it's awful because of all this stuff. How people could feel and what it can do. They don't even suggest it. If you mention stuff like everything she said. Oh yeah. That's all great. Just as long as you take these pills too, with it or whatever.
Yes.
Well, we're so over-calcified that no wonder we need magnesium. We burn through it. It's not in our food. I had every bit of the signs of fibromyalgia in my late 30s and lupus flares, but I couldn't get a doctor to talk to me, so I decided not to waste my money. And started asking why. And I kept asking why.
Yeah, my kidneys told on me. I was healthy on the outside looking at me, but my kidney said F you, a big F you. I was getting stones like in the last time, well, my last episode, I was like spaced out within 6 months. And I was like, what the heck? And I was like, yeah, I'm healthy. I can do push-ups, sit-ups. I can do pull-ups, all that. I can run, everything. But my body said, guess what? You got 2 of these things. They're called kidneys, and you ain't treating them right. About said, peace out. That's when I really got into it. Yeah.
I remember the morning my right kidney locked up on me because I was so chronically dehydrated from stress and sugar. Yep.
Yeah, that'll
it's
do it.
horrible pain.
Yeah. Wow.
It'll take you to your knees, that's for sure.
That's one of my things. I've done a lot of things in different careers, but my biggest soreness or pisses me off the most, and I worked in the medical industry, but it irritates the heck out of me. Oh man, some of the ridiculous stuff. And I know people that, every once in a while you have to go to the hospital or ER or something, you go in there and you could just see the level of people don't care. They just accept it as a job or as a paycheck. They don't care about you. Their IV can be sticking out or not even, they don't even listen to you when you're saying, hey, don't stick that vein, that rolls on you. Stick this one or whatever. Hey, you're going to have to, hey, I've done this all the time. And what do they do? Even if they roll it and he says, okay, don't fish around, just pull out and start over, So they won't, they says, who is this person telling me? That's how they feel. A lot of them have ego. Yeah. And they says, hey, it's awful. And it's like, hey, just listen to me. I know my body better than you.
Listen, over in Mexico, Not a thing. They brought me a heating pad. My nurse hugged me. He swore. He was like, I stick one time. And if he didn't get it, he'd wait. He'd go do another person because we were getting stuck every day. And my veins were not. And he was like, I will not hurt you. Heating pad. They were putting lidocaine cream on me, calendula lotion. I was getting it all. So everybody's like, did it hurt? And I'm like, listen, if I could take those nurses home with me, every single one of them, I would.
Your nurses in Europe are that way too. Nurses and doctors
I
in
can
Europe
only imagine.
have fabulous bedside manner compared to most doctors and nurses here. I have found vets in this country that have better bedside manner than the doctors and nurses at the hospitals.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like bedside manner is everything because it's not, I mean, it goes further than just earning trust. It's also getting them towards something that makes sense for their life. And you really got to connect with them. If you want to do that, you have to come to some sort of an understanding with them. You have to listen to them, try to, come to, put yourself in their shoes, try to grasp their problems a little bit, even if it's not your condition and you don't experience it and it's not the symptoms that you feel and you can't see what's happening to them. It's not like a broken bone on like an x-ray and all that. Like, it's still very real. And that person is still experiencing that. And so, having that validation there is key as well. So, I'm big on patient advocacy. And once again, I say this probably every time I go live, but like, take someone with you to the doctor. Okay. Take a journal, record, even if like it's just audio or something so that you remember what all they had, said to you and everything. Cause like, it's a lot going to the doctor. Yes. And that patient brain thing is real, dude. And they know about it. They know about patient brain. They understand that patient brain is a thing. And so like, you just need to be aware of it and you need to do something to mitigate that. And so, having a person there that's knowledgeable and that cares and that, will respect the right boundaries as far as like between you and your doctor, but will step in when necessary. That is gold. But, a journal or a recording device or something of that nature, is, that's an option. Those are options.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's the reason why they got rid of home hospice back in the day. It's because they wanted to try and pull these days. It's made it a lot easier for them to start abusing their authority, as they think. Like, there's gonna come a time when that authority gets thrown out the window and they F around and find out. There's gonna be some interesting stuff.
It's falling apart now.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Well, and sometimes people get like mistreated in facilities like that and they just don't get cared for the way that they should get cared for. And that's also true for like, like the mental health facilities sometimes and all. Like, they've really come under fire in recent years. It's getting better, I think, because like they've upped surveillance when it comes to staffing, but that could probably improve. But this runs right into, because I say all the time how like people who deal with like mental health issues a lot of time also have physical health issues. And so the bad health leads to the bad mental health. And they caveat each other. And so, I think a lot of these people, if they were healthy, their brains would be more healthy and we could actually figure out what's really going on with them. And there might still be problems there. I'm not saying that there aren't, but you don't know the root of the problem until you actually get that body right, because the brain will not be healthy without the body being healthy.
A vicious cycle. And a lot of that has to do with the food that is produced and done in this country and what people are continuing to put in their bodies. You think about, we are full of bugs out here, allergies and food issues and gluten issues until probably the last 30-ish years.
Yep. More and more. The heavy metals. I mean, it's just stacked on stacked on stacked.
Yeah, the heavy metals. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, welcome to Little Ducky. First time in here.
What up, Little Ducky? Welcome to the room.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the invite. And I can definitely. Sorry.
Yeah, my son was in a truck accident in 2021 and needed a surgery for it. We went through the whole process and said yes.
Okay.
I never left his side in 4.5 days. And I had to advocate for every single thing, including checking all of his medications, checking the supplementation, and giving him denying medications. They want to give him Prilosec. He's 19. He doesn't need Prilosec. Making sure that and then they left the room, and I gave him arnica and hypericum, and put him on my Healy, and got the calcium out of there and put him on magnesium and multigreen, so all those kinds of things, because he ended up having spinal fusion.
Right.
And I caught mistake after mistake after mistake, and I don't fault the nurses because they're so horribly understaffed. And then on Friday, as he was being released, they had 9 nurses, 45 beds, and no CNAs. So the nurses are now doing patient care, patient advocacy, as well as all the stats, checking vitals, getting water, everything else. So.
Well,
Yeah. What you got? Georgia?
I would love to have, an actual hospital for all the nurses and doctors that didn't take the Dr. Fugazi, and have them actually have their own facility. That would be great.
There are a few out there.
So
I get
on another note, and I didn't really get to react quickly. I was kind of like shifting positions over here, but caveating like what Radical Juliana was talking about. I've seen several situations where women came to my store and their husband was in the hospital, or he was on his way to the hospital, and they needed something to stop that. And my brain's pretty good and everything, but women are creative, and so like if that woman wants to save her man's life, she is going to. I can tell you right now, like, it was some of the things that I witnessed. It's funny too, because like I had people that there was like very few of them that I ever had come to me that were like, oh yeah, I'm just ready for this person to go. I think that happened maybe like once. I don't know what happened there, but almost every other time they wanted their loved one to come back out of the hospital. They were doing everything they possibly could. Justin, what more can I do? What can you come up with? Let's try to come up with some kind of good delivery and everything. There was a man that, his wife had come to me and, was asking about the V and everything, because that's what he, was in there, the vid, COVID. And he ended up, there was like, he couldn't talk. He was having really bad symptoms, couldn't breathe. There was just, and she came to me about some things, and I told her what I would do. This isn't advice, but this is what I would do, and I will tell you everything, and she had me teary-eyed, a couple of times while I was talking with her. I'll be real with you on it. So I was just really digging and doing everything I could for her that I could. And I shit you not, it was probably like within a few days that she came and said something like he started to recover. She was so grateful and so nice and all. But it was not long after that when I had a man all of a sudden just like standing. He walked into the walked in through the front door of the store and just stood right there in front of the counter, where I check people out at. And he told me, he said, "I've been waiting to meet you. I've really been wanting to meet you." And I'm like, that's cool, sir. You seem like a pleasant person as well, like sort of thing. And he goes, "No, like I'm standing right here because of you. Thank you." And that was a very fulfilling moment for me. And once again, a moment where I witnessed and, Because like a lot of what I had to say to him was like, your wife's smart, dude. You know, you should be grateful for her. Like for real, she like that was a crafty lady, and she came up with some things because there were some things that I didn't even have in liquid that like he shouldn't have been able to really get. You know, she did good. I'll just leave it at that. All right. In those type of situations, they should be able to do like IV ascorbic acid and and things of that nature and all that. But back then, they would not. There was no way. So, and the number one reason why most men were dying of COVID was our lack of vitamin C retention. Women retain vitamin C better than men do. So that's why more men were dying from COVID than women. And that's why more men were experiencing longer adverse symptoms. So, and there's, research on this. You can, look into it and all that. My theory, because, it's like, why do women retain it better than we do and everything? What I found out is that male semen is actually packed with antioxidants and actually very much highly loaded with ascorbic acid. And so, when we blow, it goes. And so, vitamin C is a water soluble vitamin, and we don't retain it. So you have to continuously get it in your diet if you go and use it. If you use it, you lose it in that way. Vitamin C don't just come right back. It doesn't get recycled in the body like glutathione and a lot of these other things.
Okay, so I'm going to back up what Knowledge said, even though he doesn't need backing up. That is the dang truth. And in Mexico, they were like, all you have to do, because I took PC by drip. And I'm like, what is PC? And he was like, well, it's an antioxidant, anti-aging. I'm like, oh, yes. How do I get that at home? And he was like, you won't like the answer to that. And I was like, what? And he said, your husband will, but you probably will turn your nose up at it. And I looked at him and I was like, no. And he was like, I'm just the messenger. God sent me on this journey. And I was like, listen, you've already introduced me to a few things because there were some off the wall techniques. My naturopath was like, they work, trust me. And I'm like, I'm going to take your word for it. That is going to be one of those. I'm going to take your word for it. But then he was like, don't forget, your skin is your largest organ. So ladies, I'm just saying. He is loaded. He is correct. You just might as well,
Hey, vitamin C is necessary for collagen synthesis, and as far as maintaining the health of your largest organ, your skin, vitamin C, collagen synthesis is necessary. Especially when it comes to like the reconditioning of those tissues. Same with gut health. Same with neurological tissue. Basically, anything collagen based.
Well, we burn through vitamin C in stress, right? So we're not only losing it every day, we're blowing through it as well when we're stressed out. I had every symptom of fibromyalgia and never got a diagnosis. It seemed pointless. And a lot of the interesting studies that are coming out about MTHFR and genetic polymorphisms is that those with things like fibromyalgia tend to really struggle to process vitamin C, in part because they're missing cofactor nutrients. So one of the things that's helped me a lot with restoring my fascia, muscles, ligament, tendons, as well as the fascial structure, is a combination of acerola cherry, vitamin C, and magnesium biglycinate in a liquid form. And I get it in an isotonic form, so it basically bypasses the stomach. And when I take that, I have to be careful not to take it past noon, or I'll be up till 2 a.m. Like, it actually gives me a really good burst of energy as well.
A lot of people don't realize how important magnesium is for the body. I'm in a dye-free group on Facebook, and there was a debate going on. This lady wants to give magnesium to her kids to help them sleep at night. And this lady's like, just give them pills. And I'm like, no, we don't do pills, and here's why. And this lady's like, no, you can give them the gummies and it will be fine. It digests differently. And I'm like, no, it's not. If you want your kids to sleep better at night, use a topical magnesium with lavender in it because it helps with anxiety and depression, this and that. And this lady started arguing with me, and I was like, look, you believe what you want to believe. I know it's true. If you are going to take an oral magnesium, it should not be in a pill form. It should be in a liquid form, because of the way that your body digests pills. And I was like, I can't have conversations with stupid people because they don't understand. I was like, I can't do it.
Okay, so I might come off stupid to you, but I want to say something on this, okay? Because I'm not against, we do have good transdermal absorption of some nutrients and some things and everything. especially toward like surrounding tissues and all. It's not really something that regularly and well distributes, as much to the cells, but it does a little bit. The primary sites for absorption for these nutrients are actually in our small intestines. And so like and some capsules don't burst. See, that's the thing is like, there's a flip side to this.
Yeah.
Some capsules don't bust in time.
Right. And that's what I'm
so
getting
like
at.
there's, I believe in capsules. But I also see the argument against it. I see both sides on that. I think that a liquid internally is really good. That would probably be, it's like, let's try to combine the ideas. And, I think that that's really where we find our homeostasis at. But I generally use, capsules for my magnesium, but that's because that is what's best and most convenient for me, and I'm on the go. So
No, 100%. 100%. She was just making the argument that the capsules will dissolve before they hit your small intestines every single time, and it depends on the capsule.
Most of the time they probably will, especially if you like do it with food, like with a meal and everything, you take it the right way, it probably will.
And I asked her,
but a lot of people will go and just try to take the stuff like on an empty stomach, and
that's what she's doing. And I'm like, you can't do that. And she's like, but I do it all the time, and it's the right way to do it. I was like, no, you have to take these things with meals. And I'm a transdermal person myself.
Me and you have talked about like in the past. Me and you very much agree on this, like that the ancestral living really does. That's a good way to go for a lot of us, right?
Yes.
And if you think about it, our ancestors would have been getting a lot of this in their diet with their food. We don't get the nutrients so much from our food because of corporate farming and all that. Yep. And we're all aware of that here in this room. Not everyone is aware of that, but we're aware of that. Okay. So, when it comes to supplements and nutrients, herbs, what have you, a lot of it, unless it's like a binder or something like that, you generally want to take the majority of your supplements with food.
Yep.
Because that's when it would generally be coming into your diet. You go and take your magnesium on an empty stomach, it's probably just going to run right through you. You may get some of it. You may get some of it though, but it's not going to absorb, in the same way as it would with a meal, that it probably will bust, somewhere around the small intestines, maybe a little bit before when it comes to, running in with a meal and kind of having that something to slow it down and make it run. Okay. So yeah, like that's why there's multiple, aspects to these things. Yeah. And if you're just taking a regular magnesium just on an empty stomach at night, maybe consider, doing it closer to dinner rather than.
100%. And I don't think you're stupid. We completely see eye to eye. It's just when you try to reason with people, there's better ways to do this. There are kids who don't swallow pills because it's a group about kids, like Die Free for Kids. And they're like, have them just swallow these pills. I'm like, you can't do that. Most kids don't take pills. The gummies aren't going to be as effective. Like trying to make sense to people who don't see that bigger picture, but I don't by any means think there are just people in society. I'm like, I can't get through to them. And I'm like, I just can't with people. But
Tracy was asking what's the best form of vitamin C. I know you have to have there's several ways, just not one vitamin C to your system. You have to have several ways to get vitamin C into your system. Any of you have any suggestions for Tracy or anything that could help her get more absorption or have the best source of vitamin C, to your opinion?
I'm thinking this might be directed at me, but ascorbic acid is like commonly what's most often used in supplementation. Yes, it's sourced from mold. Dun dun dun. You could always go with like fruit based, and food based vitamin C. Ascorbic acid is high in a lot of your favorite fruits, apples, oranges. You name it. You'd be surprised. Quite a few of the foods actually have some vitamin C in them. The other thing that, you could consider, because like, especially Tracy being a blood type O, I'm not really big on her having a whole lot of fruits. You could consider doing something more like calcium ascorbate. Now, just like it was addressed earlier, a lot of us are already getting enough calcium in our diet, are we not? But as long as you're making sure you're getting your calcium distribution, cofactors, and in combination with it, it would probably be fine. Generally, though, I think ascorbic acid is toxicologically safe. I know how it's sourced, and I've done the research on it. There's some really good things in life that are sourced from mold. I just want to say that. Anyway.
I agree with that. I'll add this. I'm finding that people with the MTHFR polymorphism, in my case, are doing better with either acerola cherry or camu camu, or some combination of the two. There's the cofactor nutrients that come in the food based, and that's the case with me. I tried high dose ascorbic acid. I got to bowel tolerance and I didn't get the uplift, so I went and looked at it again, and acerola cherry camu camu combination is much better. Along with, it's got magnesium and a couple other things in the formula that I take.
Also, if you're magnesium deficient, your body's not going to absorb some of those other nutrients that you need. Your vitamin C and your vitamin D. So making sure that your magnesium is up where it needs to be, and also spending time in the sun will help with some of those absorptions as well.
We are like plants, right?
We are like plants.
We got to get that photosynthesis.
Hey, Time to Heal. How are you, Andrew?
Hello, how is everyone?
Good.
I'm checking in. I'm good.
Doing well at all.
Man, everyone's checking in.
What up, Time to Heal? I think I was hanging out in your live the other day, and you were spitting out some good info.
Sweet.
I'm pretty sure.
Playing their trivia game. I always bail when they're playing their trivia game.
When we play the game, EJ always dips out. Always. He's so afraid.
So what is the game? Like, explain it to me.
Never would I ever. Or I forget the other games. They get kind of spicy.
I got
Yeah.
pregnant on that game.
I have lost many times on that game.
Never on the internet. Never.
Me neither on the internet. I mean, I'm just saying that happened a long time ago before this app. That happened for me. I don't know. I just said the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah, it's funny. The question, I'll be like, EJ, and all of a sudden, silence. And you look, and he's nowhere to be found. He just gets out.
He was Googling the answer.
Yeah. We always ask, like,
I mean, we love herbs, but sometimes you got to give a break because sometimes you can get, some people, their minds wander. So I try to bring them back in with a little bit of spice. You know what I'm saying?
That's a healthy lifestyle.
I did the other game pretty good where you give out clues and you try to guess what it is, like a $5 bill or a lollipop or something like that. I was.
You did do well on that. Yep, I think you got the hot dog right.
Yeah, we should do a Pictionary. That'd be good.
That would be fun.
If you guys have Discord and you have some of your followers in there, you can play games on Discord. And one of them is somewhat like a Pictionary type thing. And it's absolutely hilarious because the people who are playing, you have to guess what that one word is that they're describing. So it's kind of fun. It kind of gets you off the herb natural thing and gets you to know people on a more human level, personal level.
Yeah, you can only draw a pickle so many ways. So good luck on that.
I just only have so much time, and energy for so many things. Like, I would definitely, make it, when I can and all. But as far as, trying to set up that type of thing, it's just, that is a tough one to do. I don't really have, Discord or anything like that. I'm not really on, I'm not even on Snapchat. I don't have any, secret social media. I have a Telegram. And I mean, it's got, a few people on there, but it's I haven't really messed with it in a while. So I don't know. I guess I kind of have been more just, I'm either just public or I'm private.
Honestly, I've got to get better at my business Discord, but it's hard. Like you said, the time, I work a full-time job and just life and family and trying to do the business. It's hard. Doing videos can be time consuming too.
Right.
Yeah, this is my vacation week, believe it or not. And it honestly took me 3 days just to actually realize with my body that I was on vacation. I got 3 more days left before I go back to work. And it's like, huh, this is what it feels like to be, on my own time finally. And then, I'm getting 3 days actually while I'm chill. And then I'm back at work.
It's hard. You have to make that time for yourself, either if it's a few minutes in the morning or you have to pick a time for yourself every day, or especially if you live in the city or if you're got all types of things. It's not being, you have some people say, oh, you're just being selfish or you're just worrying about yourself. You have to, energy wise and health wise, it makes a difference if you can spend a little time, even if it's just listening to music on the way to work or relaxing or turning even off the music and just relaxing. If you spend like a couple minutes, it takes like a couple seconds. When you ground, instantly it helps. So 10 minutes, 5 minutes of just standing, grounding, or doing something for yourself.
You have to decompress. We live in a crazy world. The news, social media, you need to decompress. That's going to hit your mental health, and people do not realize how your mental health affects your physical health, how it affects the organs in the bodies, everything. And you need that time to yourself, even if you just got to leave your house and leave the kids. If you have kids, leave the kids with a significant other, take them to a babysitter, or like EJ said, go lock yourself in the car and jam out to some Rush or something,
Yep.
Now, I used to on the weekends, and I made it a thing. Or anytime I felt stressed, I'd go to the park or a place that I enjoyed. Uh, or weekends, I would actually go camping and take no electronics with me. If we drive up there, if we had them, we'd leave them in the car, or we're there, we're grounding, we're fishing, we're doing stuff that's away, from all the chaos. And you have to find a way. And me and I think it was Justin. We do something that no other. You wouldn't think of this, and maybe you guys do. We find going out to a restaurant or getting something to eat and just being totally by ourselves and enjoying that. That's a way of mentally and physically. It's refreshing to us. It's something that we do. We don't want to invite anybody. We don't want to be around anybody, but we just want to enjoy a great meal because it stimulates. It's a happy place for us. But you can do stuff like that.
I think in those times for me, it's like it's not so much about like whether or not I'm with someone or anything like that, as much as it is about just like I don't have anything else that I have to like take care of. I don't have any like conversation I have to entertain. Like I do what I want to do.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? In those moments and in those situations. Sometimes, yeah, you got to be able to like go and do shit by yourself sometimes. Like, I mean, it just is what it is on that.
Decisions. I make decisions all damn day. I don't even want to have to decide what's for dinner. I just don't want to make decisions. I want just to be left alone for a minute.
I think we all have a lot like on our shoulders and people that, we care for and that we're trying to be the best for. And sometimes that, like, we let ourselves go, we let our health go and our mental health and our social life and our mental paradigm go so that we can carry others, so we can carry situations that aren't really our problem, aren't really our burden. But, as the healing types, it's natural for us to want to do that. Every healer has a warrior side to them. And I think just trying to be intelligent with your energy and not drain yourself for others, too much. Like, give what you can and hold, what's going to maintain you. And on the note of the vacation stuff, yeah, I'm actually about to go on vacation too, like that. My vacation starts next week, so very freaking excited about that. And I don't know what it's like. I mean, all day my hands are busy. Like I can't, and all day I'm like, I got things going on. I got, it's like if I stop, especially like when you're in a supervisory type position at work, if you stop and start playing around, other people do too. And the day gets extended. And I'm just trying to get home and get out of the damn heat.
Another thing that I think people don't do enough of is, and it's going to sound crazy, is to say no.
Yeah.
I know
Very
so many people that will say yes just to please people, but you have to learn to say no. But learn to say no in a way that you're not being offensive, but you need to stand firm on it.
Yep.
Right.
I did a video on that very thing today. I said, I've got a gift for people pleasers. No. The word no. Learn how to say it and practice it regularly. And again, you don't have to be rude about it, but you do definitely have to, have your boundaries. That was important. Oldest child, total people pleaser, followed a career that my parents set for me. 20 years in corporate America, climbed the ladder, hit to VP, did all the things, and almost lost my life because of it, because it destroyed my health. And I learned how to say no. And I kept saying no. And I decided that if it didn't bring me peace, it wasn't going to be part of my life. And I started just moving things out.
Yes, ma'am. Man, great advice.
Yeah, very, very much well put. I think we just need to understand and be intelligent with our energy, because think about the real people in your life that you're draining for the people in your life that aren't going to mean anything to you in 5 years. And that's like one thing. All right, I'm going to give y'all like a quick example. I had this dude like stop by my house last night, like wanting me to like give him money and shit. Like, I mean, at first, like he was like making out like he was apologizing because the first time that I helped him, he like ended up giving me, really the wrong energy back. And then he ended up texting me apologizing. I was thinking cool, right? And it didn't turn out that way. And, I think like we just need, like, I stood my ground on it. I was like, I'm not doing this again. I got food, I got water, here you go. That's all I can do right now. I'm not, this ain't a bank. I'm not doing it like that. I'm not doing that good or anything. I'm living my life and I'm working my ass off. And so and we need to be able to maintain that ground, maintain that standing. It's like, who comes to somebody's house in the middle of the night and fucking just asks for money? Like, ain't nobody that I'm cool with like that, really.
Exactly. Draw that line in the sand, man. You have to draw that line.
Yeah, it's like only if it's family, maybe. But anybody else, it's like, dang. Yeah, where actually I live in the city, it's not that. It's very, very rare for that to happen. For somebody to just pop up on your porch, and there's a reason why, because you do not want to be in this neighborhood at the dark, going down the middle of the street. It's not that. During the day, it's cool, copacetic, but at night, yeah, you're looking over your shoulder for sure. I've had so many interesting experiences to where I'm very close to my neighbors and they'll look out for me, and vice versa. But they're like, "Hey, so and so was on your porch." I'm like, "Huh?" Yeah, so I kind of have nosy neighbors, but I'm also nosy for my neighbors too. But I understand, man. It's just like, no, that's whenever it's not rubbing you wrong, but it's your gut feeling. So you have to go with your gut, man. And that's the hardest thing to do, especially when you're into giving. You get,
so,
like you're
Georgia,
saying,
and this is my thing, is like previous to this moment, I had told him this is all I have to give for the situation, like monetary. Like I got nothing else. I feel like I've done adequately. He was sitting there saying, "Oh, God will bless you for it. God will bless you for it." I stood there and told him, "God's gonna bless me either way."
Yeah, that's right.
Ooh, manipulative. Ooh.
I mean, that's a lot of time what they'll do is they'll whip out religion, they'll whip out whatever, and I just try to just maintain, just understand. Like I try to think of, and this is what I've really been teaching myself to do, is like think of the people that I love and care about. That those are the people that deserve to get the spoil. Like I love spoiling my people that I love and care about. Like I love spoiling like my people that are close to me, kids and whatnot and everything. Like I love taking good care of like my mom, being able to do things for people around me. And so like I feel like those types of things, like those people need to be our priority first, because we're going to see our personal lives fall down if we're not investing in the right people. I'm not saying we can't invest in our friends sometimes. That's a good thing, and we should invest in some of our friends, especially when they show that they're deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? They're real. But definitely make sure you prioritize the right people, because man, some of that shit, some of them relationships like kids and all that, like you can't get that time back. You don't get that shit slips away. It goes down, the hourglass. It's done.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
And in no way is this not saying you don't give to others and try to help people out, but like knowledge said, you gotta think it through. I have no problem. There's this guy that I pass every now and then on the side of the road, and he's wanting food, and you can tell this guy's homeless. I don't know his story, and it could be a scam. I don't know. I don't know his story. But if I feel compelled and I have a few bucks, I will give to him. I don't like the begging, and you see a lot of that now on TikTok. The begging on TikTok is out of hand. I don't get into that at all. That manipulation, the lying.
Yeah,
People
it's
don't learn much if they continue to have someone carry their weight for them. They need to learn some lessons sometimes, and it's hard to watch. Watching a friend of mine back in jail again, and it's her choice at this point, and it's hard. You want to help them, but she won't learn her lesson unless she has the lesson given to her fully.
That tough love. So,
Yeah.
change the subject here. Anybody working on anything special or doing anything fun? I am really doing a deep dive in phytochemistry of plants, and I'm loving it. It's actually been very, very interesting. And my end goal is to make stronger and better medicine. I want to know how to pull out the water soluble, non water soluble constituents and phytochemicals out of these plants. And, it's a little bit more than just throwing that alcohol in there and letting it process. You really need to dig down into that, because each plant is different in its makeup. And so, therefore, you need to know, you don't want to burn those phytochemicals with too high of an alcohol proof. So you need to make sure that you're getting those right amounts and treating it well. But anyways, that's what I'm doing right now.
You should also keep in mind that for some of them, you can use vegetable glycerin to make your extract, but that's not true for all of them.
Correct.
So it's like, do your research on that.
Terry just made a video, didn't he? Talking about what you were talking about, time to heal.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Where science meets nature. He just made a video on that.
Actually, he was talking about it in a live, and I had mentioned I was reading a really good book about it. And
he changed his name. Yeah, he has a. If you guys don't follow Where Science Meets Nature or the Herb Guy, Terry, make sure you check out his last video. I think he's on all platforms as well, but he kind of breaks it down. It's something interesting. You guys should check it out. I recommend. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff.
I have something coming up that might enhance the conversation along here. I've always been interested in understanding enzymes more. And the very first supplement I bought at my very first naturopathic training seminar was an enzyme formula from a company called Healthy Reflections. And Arlene, who created the company, had enzymes were a huge part of her healing journey. She has since sold the company to the people that were her research and manufacturing company. Leon is the lead researcher and is into formulations, and he and I are going to do a bit of an education series for practitioners on how to talk to people about enzymes, how to understand what enzymes to use when and where based on their formulations. And one of the things that I asked him if he would do is to talk about enhancing the availability of things like herbs and supplements when you add enzymes to that process. We were just talking about capsules not opening. If you had enzymes associated with it, that might help in that case. Or in the case where people have a low digestive function, low hydrochloric acid, things aren't moving, they have low motility, etc. Enzymes might help with that. So we're going to be doing a couple of conversations on that, and I'll make sure that it'll all be linked in my bio so that people can see it. And he's done a huge education series on enzymes as well. They're a great company to work with.
Sounds very interesting.
I love that you mentioned the hydrochloric acid, and I've seen so many people benefit from betaine and apple cider vinegar. My son, takes apple cider vinegar gummies. He basically has to have them. I benefit from utilizing it as well. It's in my routine. Stomach acid content is like extremely important to health. People don't even realize, like, you want to talk about MTHFRs and everything. Like, if your stomach acid content is not conditioned properly, you're gonna not be able to actually break down iron and absorb iron and several other minerals. Actually, you'll have a hard time breaking down as well. You won't absorb as much of them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, stomach acid is very imperative. Stomach acid, is necessary. Enzymes is the first thing that I got onto. Most specifically pancreatin. It's like amylase, protease, the likes, the works. And then there's, a lot of time in those formulas, there's a little bit of like betaine or something like that in with it too. I like that stuff, especially for people who have like their gallbladder removed or anything of that nature. That's where, that you could also go with like ox bile for something like that. Ox bile is fantastic, for this. Now, not everyone tolerates the ox bile exactly the same way. So definitely kind of do your research and, take your time with what might work for you. And once again, if your stomach acid content is, a problem, then yes, you're going to want to add hydrochloric acid. You're going to want to add like apple cider vinegar or something like that, not just the enzymes. And then there's also like, okay, Radical, you're going to love this subject. All right. So, especially since you're talking about enzymes. If you have not looked into systemic enzymes or serrapeptase before, those things are known for being able to improve the reconditioning of organ system tissue, and also, most specifically, according to legend, scar tissue. Do your research and all that. But that's like one of those things that's kind of like, deeper level.
Can you repeat the section on the scar tissue, please?
Serrapeptase or systemic enzyme. Serrapeptase is actually sourced from the silk of the silkworm, and there's enzymes in it that they've found that just have really good properties as far as like improving the reconditioning of tissue and bodily processes, but most specifically the reconditioning of tissue. It's just crazy. And it's like we've talked about quick healing things like comfrey and all, but this stuff is like next level. This is like deeper tissue type stuff. So yeah, definitely, do your research, look into serrapeptase. It's, hey, one of my people that's in the room, go ahead and type that out for everybody, please. Cause I know one of y'all knows how to spell it. I've been talking about this shit for fucking years anyway. So like definitely look into it, and if you want to produce content on it, like be my guest. More people should know about it, to be honest with you. Like, it's cool.
Agreed.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. I had 5 abdominal surgeries. I'm very familiar with scar tissue. It's not fun. In and of itself, it's a recovery. So yeah, that's a great recommendation. Love that.
I love helping
Yeah.
people. But hey, y'all, I got to be up in like, I don't know, a few hours. So hey, I'm gonna call it a night. But thank you for having me from them, and love being here with all y'all. Lock and Key, Time to Heal. Radical, I think I need to give you a follow. You're really cool,
I
and
appreciate it. Thank you.
you seem bright. I like that.
Thanks.
So, all right. Hey, take good care of yourselves, and all y'all
You
have a
too.
good night. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Hey,
Bye, Knowledge.
anytime.
Take it easy.
Um, I'm going to actually end this as well. I appreciate you all being here. I hope you liked being here on the round table. We always have different people drop in. Sometimes it's the same people. More than welcome to hang out with us anytime and do this again. And I know sometimes they drop in a little bit late. I know Time to Heal, you're doing your own thing, and I point out to everybody, you guys have your own lives and stuff, and I appreciate you guys when you guys do come in here. We do always learn so much when you guys come in here and talk about things and share the stuff that you're going to be doing, and things that you have coming up. I'm still trying to work with Mary to do this Chinese herb thing. So we're still working on stuff. I know she's been doing stuff, building her stuff out in Arizona, her house, and getting stuff situated and stuff. So her communication's kind of here and there, but we'll start the.
Yeah, I'm
Start
definitely
getting
interested in that. Let me know. And thanks for having me up. You guys have a good night. Radical, I followed you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I have to clear out a few people. I'm at 10,000. They cap me. So I'll clear out a few people and I'll come follow all of you guys as well. Love
All
this.
right.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks, Angie. Love you, sis. So, thanks again for coming on. And
Appreciate the invite.
hey, I hope you had a good time. And like I said, you're more than welcome to come back. I do this every other Wednesday.
Awesome.
The people love it, and that's what it's about. It's about, you'll see the questions and answers, and then some of the stuff that we come up with, the knowledge, and the interaction is great.
Yeah.
And that's what we need, and that's what I'm trying to promote more of. I see a lot of other creators doing the same thing now, and that's what it's about. So if I can help just one person or just give them the information that I shared earlier, and you guys, when you guys come in here, and I forget to tell everybody, you guys are more than welcome to tell them about any advice or like if you have schedules, if they need to call you or schedule appointments, if they need to, if you have herbs and spices or whatever you want to promote on here, let them know. Because a lot of them, they don't know. It's not being rude on my channel. I tell people all the time, I have moringa and about these other things, what I promote, but that's so they know, and that's so even if they couldn't use it, maybe they could pass it on to someone else or point people. Hey, on From Them Farms, Wednesday Night Life, and Julie was there, and she had a lot of great stuff. Let's follow her. Hey, I don't like that From Them Farms guy, but the other lady, she was smart. The other guy, he's just farm dumb or something, but she was great.
No, you provided huge value. Huge value. Moringa is an incredible plant. It does so much. We were talking about all these individual nutrients, and it has a whole lot of those in one place. So it's an incredible, nourishing plant. And you've done the thing that most people don't do. You're bringing people together and letting people know that they have options, and that's hugely beneficial. So thank you for that.
Hey, appreciate you, and we'll do this again. I love you all. Thanks for all the likes and sharing, and thanks for following the round table here. All the people that came up. Little Ducky, she was new. Georgia's been here time, but follow all these people that I bring on here, because I bring them in here to learn. I bring them in there for you guys, and it's a great healing all around for all of us. But we need to share this. We need this to grow, and it's what it's about. If we don't start building this bridge and helping, if we can't talk about health, food, and water, Yeah, what makes you think we can, talk about anything else that's going
Right.
on in the world?
Mm.
Start with us first. And when we were talking about, hey, take care of yourself first, or take time for yourself, that means your health first.
Oh
If you
yeah.
don't take care of yourself, you can't be there for anyone else or help anyone else for whatever you're doing.
Agreed.
So I love you all. I appreciate. Thank you so much. From the farms to your home. I'll see you next time I'm on here. Take care, everybody.
Have a good night.